Good Mountain Monday morning, and welcome to the Mountain Monday Morning Show, Mountain Fun Life channel here. And I'm your host, Robert Ombie, along with the Mountain Man, a.k.a. Wayne McCarter. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, well, that's good. You ought to be doing good with all that mighty fine cooking you did, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now, we need the people to, all of you that are watching and catching the program, here's what we would like for you to do right now. We would like for you to text and tweet, get on the phone, knock on your neighbor's door, do whatever you need to do to let people know that Mountain Monday Morning is coming on live, and we're going to have an interesting discussion on some ancient scripture text here. I think this is going to really be interesting. This just really, it's really good. It's really great for me because this is what I enjoy doing. Now, you may not be familiar with some of this presentation, but afterward, maybe it will help you, and I can refresh my memory a little bit, which I have to do quite often anymore. It gets away from you, don't it?
Well,
Yeah.
when they go take an hour out of my time, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It does.
Sleep or cheated me.
Anyway, we want you to get that texting, tweeting done, and get everybody that you can following the program, and go down, and what do they need to do?
Text, tweet,
And
click
go down
share,
and click and share.
slide it a little.
It's going to, and then follow us. Go in on YouTube. Join us.
Call your buddies.
Get everybody
phone
involved
still
here.
works.
I mean, this, I believe this is going to be fun this morning. It's going to be interesting, at least I think for a lot of folks, if they're interested in antiquity of the Word, going back and digging up the gems of the very beginning of where we base our faith. And it's good to know what your foundation is. So, with that being said, you can get that texting, tweeting done, and we'll be right back.
Out of next week's show.
People can see.
Hey, there we are. We're live.
All right, we're live here at Mountain Fun Life Studio, and we appreciate you joining us on our cooking show here with Mountain, our one and only Mountain Man. Now, I'm holding in my hand a Mountain Fun Life t-shirt. We are going to give this away on our next cooking show next week. We're going to pull a name. We're going to take the comments from the comment section. We will pull a name out of the chef's hat.
Exactly. So you better brag on me some now, or you're going to
Yeah.
not get the
You're not
shirt.
go- Oh, okay. Now remember that. Brag on Mountain Man if you want
You
this
wouldn't
shirt.
believe what I had to do to get one. So this is a free giveaway shirt.
Next week,
Next
Mountain
week.
Fun Life Kitchen, join us.
What are we gonna eat here?
We're going to take that baked pie. I'm
Yeah.
going to heat your oven up.
That's why we're doing cooking
You know-
shows, is so we can eat.
You ain't gonna
Yeah,
believe it.
that's the benefit of getting to do this.
Now I'm going to start crappie fishing next week, but we can't
We're gonna eat fish.
And welcome back, and we do thank you for joining us and getting everybody you can. We hope you got your texting, tweeting done. We enjoy doing this, don't we? This
We
is
do.
It's a
We
lot of
do.
fun, and you know it's It's something. I think it's a benefit for the community, and we try to be community oriented and give people information about the community and what's going on around here, mountain living, mountain ways, and we are giving away a Mountain Fun Life T-shirt. Now, if you've been following the cooking shows, and we hope you have, if you've not, I think you're missing out on something very interesting. He's been doing some really good cooking. He can cook that cherry pie, man. That was good. That was good. My wife got on to me a little bit because I forgot,
Mm-hmm. I throwed a little ice cream on mine. I got to home and
Yeah, we better not talk too much about that because I'm already in trouble.
Right.
But anyway, we are giving away a T-shirt, and
Exactly.
I forgot. I forgot.
Comment.
I forgot.
Get on there and comment.
Yeah.
Let's get some comments going.
I forgot. I had the
Came out
T-shirt
of next
Hold that
next
up
week's
where
show.
People can see.
Hey, there we are. We're live.
giveaway, and we had to do a little tag-along video of it, a little clip to do what I forgot. So it's so easy to do. You get involved in the show, and it really gets interesting, and the food gets smelling good, and all that, and you just totally lose track of what you're supposed to be doing. And I forgot all about that. But anyway, the T-shirt, Mountain Fun Life, will be given away at our next cooking show, and we want you to follow the cooking show and go down to the comment section, and we're going to pull a name out of the chef's hat, and whoever is named, but you got to be in the comment section now. You want to go down and do your comment, say howdy to us, and we'll try to say howdy right back at you. And
We're going to get it out of the comment section.
and we're going to take it out of the comment section, and then just put them all together in the chef's hat, and we're going to pull out,
Make it fair.
make
it
it
dry.
fair, make it kind of a drawing. And if you would like to have a beautiful Mountain Fun Life T-shirt, why then you be sure and catch. That will be on Thursday morning at what are we doing at 10 a.m. Just be there. Just watch the whole whatever's going on. Follow it.
It's
I mean,
cool
you're
to
not
have much
going to.
stuff. I'll leave it home and have to go back and get it.
Yeah, we did get a little bit of a late start, didn't we? But anyway, we have days like that, you know.
Well, in a hurry.
In
My
it-
wife
get-
throwed me out the door. Said people was waiting on me.
And then I had to wait a little
Then I
longer.
had to
because-
wait some more because
Yeah,
they
that's-
run me off too
well,
early.
it's bad when you get kicked out and don't get together all your cooking utensils, and
Well.
you forgot the pie.
She keeps me going, though.
You forgot, yeah,
I mean,
you
yeah.
forgot your main pie product.
Well, there's a lot going on
A
there.
lot going on. We got through it though. We pulled it together
We did.
and got through the whole thing. But anyway, be sure and follow the cooking shows. There are more coming on too besides what we're doing, and I'm really pleased to see that. Hey, if you have a recipe or if you would like to present, if you're a chef or affiliated with a restaurant or
Or
any
you're
kind of
just some good home cooking.
the mountain cooking's that is our category. That's what we're trying to present is the good old
I'll
mountain
stand
cooking.
there and back you.
Yeah,
I'll stand beside you.
and
I-
sample.
Let everybody start me, and you don't have to get all excited.
Well, yeah, you're doing a pretty good job though, whipping that stuff up and putting it together. Now you seem like you know what you're doing a little bit
I've
on
done
that.
it once or twice.
Done it once or twice. Okay, well that's good. I've done a
I
little
wasn't
bit of it.
always married. Sometimes I had to feed myself.
I had to do your own cooking, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. But anyway, if you have a recipe or you're a chef or you're just interested in presenting something that has to do with cooking in the kitchen, our new Mountain Fun Life kitchen set has some open arms and open
We're pretty good
range
people.
and
We're
yeah.
not hard to get along with.
Oh no. And if you would like to present your product, your cooking expertise, why then you just remember Mountain Fun Life Kitchen right here, and the set, beautiful new set, and it's just it's awesome. I mean, it is just really awesome.
It's
just
about down home cooking and living.
oh yes, yes.
Just at the house.
But
it ain't about the restaurant.
But if they have an unusual recipe that they'd like to present, if it's something you've created, show off your creativity, and this is the place to, as we'd say in the mountain, get her done.
Get her done.
Get her done. Yes, sirree. But we got springtime coming up. And springtime was always kind of an exciting time for me and my dad, who has passed on, rest his soul. He would always, about this time of year, he would always start going through his heirloom seeds. He saved his own. He saved his own seeds and for most everything. And he would begin to get excited, and he would watch the weather and everything, and he'd go out to the barn when it got the proper time, and gear the old mule up, or he'd send one of us kids out and say, go get that mule geared up. I want to get the ground done today.
Not everybody had a tractor, did they?
Not everybody had a tractor, and we never had a tractor growing up. Our logging and all that we did with a horse or mule.
My dad's a little man, but he could handle that old mule long enough to plow the ground up, disc it up.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's cool to watch.
It is.
He'd let me ride the old mule back.
But the fun part of it is, is when you get those crops growing and you get to go out and start harvesting then, and you get to sample what you and watching it grow, just watching it grow, watching the little sprigs of corn come up, those little green leaves of corn. When
sometimes though it wasn't so fun because of the hoeing.
No, but by the sweat of the brow.
But I don't know how many of us,
because
when we were young, we would take a salt shaker when we went to hoe. And we had our lunch right there with a tomato.
Going out into the
tomato. That is pull the green onion, and I mean, if you had a biscuit, that's pretty good too. But
that is one of my fondest memories.
I have done that as just a young boy.
Going out in the garden, and my dad, he would save. Sometimes he would have a big old red ripe tomato or two growing on a vine, and he would save. He would be planning on saving those. Planning on saving those for a seed, but I would kind of interrupt that because I wouldn't know that he was saving those for seed. And I'd see those big red ripe tomatoes, and I'd pick the biggest one. I'd be chomping down on it and say, "Bob," he always called me Bob. "I was going to save that for seed. Now I'll have to let another one say, don't pick these big ones like that." He'd show me, "Now don't get these others here. I'm saving those for seed." But that was a fun time.
Prettiest on the vines.
It was
we won't.
It had the best flavor. It was,
Well, we're children and we like big.
Right, but springtime is coming on, and I wanted to, there was a farmer a long time ago, as you all probably have noticed here. I have some books, and I have some interesting material here. At least it's interesting to me, and I hope it's as interesting to you when I begin to explain this. And, but going back thousands of years ago, there was a farmer and a shepherd named Cain was a farmer, and Abel. You all have read that in Genesis, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow Scripture, I hope you do. If you don't, you need to follow it, because there ain't nothing no better. And but Abel, he offered the best of his flock. And it was that time of year. We know, we got that time of year coming up here.
Spring.
Of the festivals,
and
the
the
biblical
harvest.
festivals when our own Savior was sacrificed as the Lamb as a sacrifice to pay for the sins of the world, and the Passover time, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. Some people call it Easter, but I do want to make a minor correction on that. But anyway, I'll try not to get too technical, but it's hard not to when you involve the kind of texts and literature that I have here. But, Abel, he brought his offering, and he was evidently following the pattern of what he was supposed to do, to offer a lamb from the flock. And Cain, he comes running up evidently with his grain. He picked up it was the wrong offering, the wrong time. A grain offering could be made, but not at that particular time. It required the blood, the sacrificial
sacrifice
offering. And Abel made that offering. Well, Cain, he was going to be his own man, I guess, and he thought, well, I worked hard hoeing this grain here, and I'm going to offer this, and which was the wrong time and the wrong offering, and so he goes running up, and he got in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got mad at his brother and committed the first murder in history.
Little jealousy going on there.
And so, but anyway, he was probably a good farmer, and he thought, well, I'm just going to offer what I've got here, and hope that will be satisfactory. So, but it wasn't, and so that's going back in some ancient history. But going back to the record of starting from there and moving forward to the text, our instructions for living, which came to us through what we call the Bible, the Scriptures. We have a pattern to follow, and we should be like Abel, and we should follow the pattern of providing the right offering, although our lamb has been offered and the final one needed has been offered. And we don't have to do that part, but we are to offer ourselves a living sacrifice. So it doesn't mean that there's not an offering to be made. And I think a lot of people miss that. We are to offer ourselves as a living sacrifice, and to be faithful. And being faithful, we have to have instructions on being faithful. But what I find interesting, pardon me, is that going back and studying, and I love really digging in and going back and finding out what the foundation is. Where did it all begin? How did it begin?
The desire to know more.
The desire to know more.
That now to me, that's Christian. Just being a Christian. The desire to know.
And we follow. Sometimes we get in a habit of, and it's okay, learn what you can from what you have, the resources. And some people, in times past, didn't have the resources that we have available today, because a lot of times they weren't permitted to study other things. They were, when church and state had kind of combined, and the authorities, when it was mostly actually, they tried to keep it all in Latin in the Western world, and they didn't want anything else to be studied. And so, and as a matter of fact, there were times, and I'm going to talk about that. The earliest English Bibles, they had to print by hand, and not everybody. They couldn't print them quick enough for everybody to have a copy, so they just had to listen to what the preacher or the prophet or the teacher taught them, and learn from that way. And but the ancient text of Scripture, going all the way back, what I have here is very interesting, and I'm very pleased to have these at my disposal so that I can study. And getting back to the English Bible, the Geneva Bible was one of it was actually they call it the Protestant Bible, because most of the Protestants and Separatists and Puritans, they were using the Geneva Bible. The Geneva Bible was the very first version to be printed mechanically on a printing press. And it followed the Great Bible, which was from Latin. And the Geneva Bible was the first one to be translated directly from the Hebrew and the Greek manuscripts, the more ancient manuscripts back behind those Latin versions. But the Great Bible, and the reason it's called the Great Bible, that was I think the first official Anglican of the Church of England. The first version that they had, it was called the Great Bible because it was hand printed, and it was so thick, so huge and bulky. They even chained it to the pulpit to keep people from picking it up. Bible thieves. Why, yeah. I guess someone would be anxious enough to learn that. Well, it ain't right, but I'm going to take that. So they changed it, but it was so huge that it couldn't be actually carried around. And some of those bigger Bibles, they had those latches. They come around the leather bound to have those latches, or even some wooden covers on them. And they latched those together. But that was the first official Anglican translation, and of course it was followed by the Bishop's Bible. And of course, then the demand for a new translation brought about the 1611 Bible, which is called the King James Version. And now that was the third. Now a lot of people don't know this fact. That was the third official Anglican version. It wasn't a Protestant version. I think people miss that fact. It was the third official Anglican version, which followed the Great Bible and the Bishop's Bible, and then the third, the 1611. Now, what we have, and I have several 1611 different study Bibles. What we have today that we call the 1611 is not necessarily the 1611. It is about the fifth edition of the 1611, because the original 1611 was written in the Middle English, the older English text type that most people probably couldn't even read it today. And I have a reprint of it. I know what I'm saying, because I don't have that one with me. Hey, if I brought all the different editions, reprints and manuscripts that I have, I would have to rent a U-Haul truck or get a moving van to bring them over here. But maybe some of the others I can bring in a little bit later on. I brought these because they are so special to me, and they are so interesting and so historical. What I have here, the Aramaic, this Aramaic is basically Hebrew. It's Hebrew, just a form of Hebrew language. The same letter style. The words are spoken almost identical. There are a few little minor variations, but basically when you hear someone say Aramaic, it's written in the Hebrew letter style. And this copy here that I have is the Aramaic English Parallel New Testament. Now, New Covenant is probably a better term. And this Aramaic copy here is called the Khabouris Aramaic text. It is possibly, possibly written during, not this particular copy, this is a copy of that, about 300 of the Common Era, or AD, which makes it the oldest text known. It is probably as old or older than the oldest Greek text. What I have in my hand right here, and the parallel, it has the Hebrew or the Aramaic letters on one side and the English translation, word-for-word translation on the other side. So what I'm holding in my hand right here is one of the oldest known, if not the oldest, Aramaic, Hebraic background text of the New Covenant. And a lot of people don't realize that when we're talking about the Aramaic and Hebrew, we often hear, and pastors, they have been trained by academia, religious academia, seminaries and Bible schools and colleges, and I don't think it's really an oversight. I think a lot of times anti-Semitism plays a role in not having texts like this being brought to the forefront. I hate to say that, but it's a fact. It's a historical fact. And but a lot of people, when you're talking about the New Testament, oh, that was originally written in Greek. And that is what a lot of pastors are repeating because they have heard it from the seminary teachers and Bible teachers that the New Testament was originally written in Greek. Well, that's interesting when you go to a Bible college and seminary, and the scholars teach you in one class that it was originally written in Greek, and you to follow the Greek manuscripts and Greek New Testament. But when you go to the church history or the seminary school history class on the history of the New Testament and the Scriptures and what we call the church, then you read the earliest church fathers, the next generation after who lived right after the apostles. They unanimously, all, as far as I remember, basically all of them teach that it was originally written in Hebrew letters. And a lot of times they would refer to Aramaic. If they were reading it, they'd still call it Hebrew because it's almost identical. Now, the fact is that there are approximately 19,000 copies of the New Covenant in Aramaic, or the Syriac. It's sometimes called Syriac, Coptic, and the older Latin manuscripts, 19,000 compared to only 5,686 Greek manuscripts total. And this text that I have here in my hand is probably older than the very oldest known Greek text. So that's the reason I consider this to be one of the most important books that I have. Now, talking about the text being originally written in Hebrew, I have in my hand here the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. And a lot of people don't know that this even exists. And when I tell them, they say, oh, no, it can't be. You can't have something like that. It doesn't exist. Oh, well, yes, it does. And the early church fathers once again say that Matthew was written in the Hebrew script. Church history teaches you that. They should know this. The scholars should know this, and some of them do. But anyway, this Gospel of Matthew was almost burned in a bonfire, a book burning fire, because the Latin Church, when the church and state kind of had control of population and thinking and telling you what you're to believe, they would not permit any Hebrew Aramaic text among their Latin, and it was to all be piled up and burned. This one was the only copy that survived that burning. Not this particular book. This is a copy of that copy. But what I'm saying is this is the only one that survived that did not get burned, that wound up getting printed, and then it wound up here in my hands and in the people who know about it. And then this one is the Hebrew English New Covenant of the King James, the text behind the King James Version that has been translated. The Greek text has been put back into the Hebrew language to where that you can follow how it would have read in the Hebrew. This is very interesting, and I just recently got a hold of this one. But anyway, it's very important to have information like this, and it helps us to understand the background of what we believe, the faith we believe, where it came from, and what it actually said.
Even, Brother Robert, in our King James Bible, if you read and you study, it says every dot and every jittle.
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of people you'd have to see these books to understand what a dot
Exactly,
and a
exactly,
is.
exactly. It helps. It gives you a broader understanding of what it is. But anyway, I'm telling you, we've just done gone run out of time, and I had a few more things here that I wanted to talk about, but maybe we'll pick up next time because it's been interesting.
Life
No,
ain't never over, brother, until we're gone.
until we're gone. But anyway, maybe we can pick up the next time and follow up with some more. This is so interesting to me, and I hope it's been interesting to you. To know about this literature, that it does exist, and it's not readily available, but it is in existence, and it's very interesting to read. But anyway, we've done gone run out of time. We thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you've enjoyed the program. Mountain Monday morning, say bye, Mountain Man.
Bye, Mr. Mountain Man.
Thanks for joining.